morning, everybody. Welcome to another APLEA update. I'm sitting here with Amber. She's going to be, I'm going to introduce you to her. This is the newest representative of APLEA. Amber comes from the West Coast. We were talking to you. I'm going to let her talk for herself in a second, but she's been brought on board with APLEA as our public relations director, as well as she's going to be a liaison between APLEA East Coast and APLEA West Coast. For those of you who don't know, APLEA's kind of been one big organization, and then basically what we've decided to do is develop two branches because there's a lot of different missions that we do. And Jonathan, Johnny Legend, is going to be on the West Coast running APLEA West Coast, and I'll be here on the East Coast running that. So, but we need a go-between because a lot of our missions we do together. So I'm going to go ahead and let Amber talk. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Amber. What brings you to APLEA?
What do you want to know?
Tell me about your background. I know you did a little bit of modeling and stuff. As a public relations person, what are you hoping to accomplish with?
Yeah, I have actually, I've gone to school for barbering and cosmetology, and at the time I was working on doing people's hair, and I got hired in with a modeling agency in Ohio, but I was unable to take the job due to other circumstances.
But you've traveled around with your modeling and stuff and did different things. And so one of the things we're going to be looking, if you've hung out and spent much time with my brother and myself, you know that we're not necessarily the guys that you want on camera. She's going to be helping us to establish new relationships, new business partnerships throughout the United States. APLEA is not just a local organization, but we're a national organization. Tell me about some of your connections that you have in the West Coast as far as the martial arts and stuff like that.
I do have some long-term friends that I have had for many years, probably a decade, that are involved with security and things like that, and different sources of martial arts. I also have a father, which is more like a father figure. He's not my real father, but he is the closest thing I have to a dad that is very well connected, that is a minister as well.
But one of the things Amber and myself are both going to be involved in is heading up a trip to Africa in the spring of 2019 now, I'm sorry. And we're going to be headed to Lagos, Nigeria. We'll be conducting self-defense training. We're still in the process of finalizing what our team that's going to be traveling there is. So if you have any experience in the martial arts or in ministry, there's going to be some different components. We have APLEA chaplains. There's going to be a component there for that program. And there's also going to be a component for the self-defense training. And in the private law enforcement sector, people that handle the security for communities 5 or 6 miles. In other countries, it's not the same, and the funding is not there. So I think it's very important that we bring the citizen response program to countries like Africa, and we're doing that for free. So she's also helping us to do fundraising. We're doing a lot of fundraising right now. That's why she came here. We're kind of putting both of our heads together, pooling our contacts and our experience and resources, making trips to different states so that we can bring other people on board for that. So tell me, have you ever been to Africa?
No.
Are you excited about going?
I think it's going to be probably sadder than it is here in America.
Definitely is. It definitely is a different. It's like stepping off the planet in some ways because.
Honestly, this is what I feel. I feel like, okay, when we look back in the day, like, I don't know, early 90s. So when we were watching the Disney Channel, you see a lot of fundraising for people trying to plant trees and save our planet, and going into even then Africa and trying to feed people that were hungry. I believe we've kind of lost our ways with that, and everybody's gotten a little bit more selfish.
Sure.
And, you know, the idea of spreading love across the map so that, you know, we could be a better nation in itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's, you know, it doesn't matter. So I think one of the things that I just piggyback off what you're saying is, like, sometimes it loses its sense of personal touch. Like, when you give money to an organization, you don't know where it's going. You know what I mean? How much of that dollar that you just gave away is going to actually help somebody in a country that has some need? Or, you know, but the cool thing about what we're doing with this project is we're giving people an opportunity, if they want to come with us and actually meet people in another country that are struggling, that are, you know, trying to eat. You know, one of the things that happens on a daily basis. In America, most people, for example, where I live, there's soup kitchens everywhere. There's food programs for everyone. All right, so there's really nobody in my area, local area, that's starving. That's not the case where we're headed. I mean, there's places where eating once a day is definitely, if you eat once a day, you're lucky. You know what I mean? If you eat more than that, you're wealthy. You know what I mean? So we're going to be going into these communities, and one of the things we're going to do, number one, we're going to provide security. When I was in Lagos last time, we went through I was in a taxi. We went through a village, and there was a guy carrying a board with like probably about the size of this table, maybe a little larger, and he had loaves of bread on it, and he's walking down the street. I was in a cab with my host contact, and basically I saw a little boy knock a loaf of bread off the board and go running with it. Well, the guy set the board down on the table, and he grabbed the little boy and literally right over our cab began to beat this boy. And I, as a martial arts guy, wanted to jump out of the cab immediately and help this boy, but I wasn't able to because over there there's an element of danger. And
yeah, it sounds like you're telling an Aladdin story.
It does. It's something that can't be real, but it is. That's something I experienced firsthand. So there is an element of danger to Americans going into other countries like this because there's people that get kidnapped every day. There's and held for ransom. You know what I mean? The average income in a lot of families depends. There's a huge spectrum, but some people make $100 a month versus $100 over there could feed a family for a whole month of food. So we've talked about that before, and our goal is not only to just provide training, but we want to provide resources and bring the spotlight. We're going to bring our cameras there. We want to bring the spotlight to Africa and to the local APLEA family that has been my contact for over 14 years. And it's going to be an amazing experience. So I'm very excited about that. Also very excited about what Amber's been doing here. Since she's been here only a few weeks, we've been working. We established new relationships in different states across the East Coast. Rhode Island, North Carolina, Connecticut. There's a lot of things, a lot of new business opening up for APLEA, a lot of instructors coming on board. And, you know, it's not, even though we train self-defense, in any organization you need more people than just the instructors. You need, there's a legal component. There's a support element that you need within any organization. So I'm very excited about Amber and what she's bringing to the table with your background, because I don't have a lot of experience in, public relations. So, in fact, if you see me wearing a tie, somebody may have died, just saying. So she, on the other hand, loves to dress up. So I'm going to dress her up, and we're going to take her out, and we're going to have new business. In fact, it's already been happening. Just in the short amount of time we've been here, I've watched things happen that I haven't been able to do in months. She's done in days. So
I am just myself.
Yeah, that's it. Just being yourself. And I'm excited. We're traveling back to Oregon in a few weeks here. I'm going to be meeting. She's going to be introducing me to some of her people, building a stronger relationship with APLEA West Coast, and also finalizing plans for our trip in the spring. What motivates you? What motivates you to do what you do?
Honestly, my hard past.
Yeah.
What I am unable to give to my children, to be honest with you. And if I can't do it, I just want them to see that I haven't given up, and in time we will eventually reconnect, because love isn't something you can take away.
Absolutely.
You can remove everything and strip a person of anything and everything they have, even their passion. This is what I've learned. But you cannot take away the heart.
That's good. That's absolutely true. As a father myself, I understand exactly where you're coming from. And I'm very excited to have you on the team. And I'm looking forward, you'll see a lot more of these videos as things progress. An update, we're going to have a lot more things coming. So stay tuned. And thank you for being here on the Juggernaut. This is APLEA East Coast. We're signing off.
Peace.